Good evening, Florida, and welcome to Coastal Conservative News, where truth has a backbone and freedom still has a home.
We're bringing you the bold stories and the real headlines and the voices that matter most, right here from the heart of the free state of Florida, from Tallahassee to the Sun Coast.
We're tracking the political shifts, community victories, and constitutional battles shaping the future of our state and our great nation.
So buckle up, it's time to get informed, get fired up, and get involved.
This is CCN, Coastal Conservative News.
Good evening, Florida. I'm Allie Lachey, and this is Coastal Conservative News Week in Review, where we break down what really happened across our state this week and why it matters to your family, your freedom, and your community.
And I'm Michelle Posey. Tonight, we're bringing you the clearest, most grounded look at Florida's top stories with the context big media too often leaves out. Let's get started with crime and public safety. All right, we begin tonight with a significant moment in Florida's justice system. The state is preparing for its 16th execution of 2025, the highest number in a single year since the death penalty returned to Florida a decade ago. Now, this execution involves Brian Frederick Jennings, who abducted, assaulted, and murdered a 6-year-old girl in 1979, Allie.
Florida leaders say the increase in executions reflects a promise to prioritize victims, especially children, and close long-standing cases that have dragged through the courts for years or even decades. For many families watching this story, it reinforces the message that in Florida, justice delayed won't stay justice denied.
That's true.
Now to Tampa's Ybor City District, a high-traffic nightlife area where pedestrians and families mix with late-night congestion. On November 8th, a vehicle drove into a crowd, killing 4 and injuring 11. This wasn't a fender bender. It was a mass casualty tragedy.
Yeah, and here's the context. For years, residents have reported dangerous driving in Ybor, from late-night speeding to street racing. City officials and law enforcement have repeatedly debated safety measures, more pedestrian barriers as a possibility, stricter nightlife rules, increased officers on weekend nights. But little has changed. This tragedy brings those long-standing concerns back to the forefront.
That's right. Now, Florida's tourism isn't just theme parks. It's local events that showcase our beaches, artists, and family-friendly culture. Yes. The Siesta Key Crystal Classic International Sand Sculpting Festival kicks off this weekend. Boy, that was a mouthful. One of the largest sand sculpting competitions in the world, right here in Florida.
I'm envious because I can't even build like a little tiny castle.
No,
I don't know how to mix the sand with the water.
My kids always try. It never works out right.
Nope. Beyond the artwork, festivals like this support Florida's small businesses, restaurants, hotels, and local shops in Sarasota rely heavily on these events to drive foot traffic during the fall months. It's a reminder that Florida's cultural identity is creative, family-centered, and rooted in our natural beauty.
Absolutely.
So another cultural story, guys, but one that isn't getting much coverage. Of course, you're seeing it here on CCN. Central Florida Community Arts, a nonprofit known for its inclusive community choirs and theater programs, is celebrating its 15th year anniversary with a showcase concert.
This isn't a big budget production backed by a corporation. It's everyday Floridians, kids, seniors, veterans, parents performing together. Wow. In a world where screens dominate, these organizations keep real-life, face-to-face community alive, and that's worth celebrating.
That's something. Put the screens down for a little bit, right? Guys, healthcare access remains one of the biggest challenges in rural Florida. This week, the state applied for its portion of a $50 billion federal program designed to expand mobile clinics, recruit nurses and doctors, and modernize equipment in undeserved counties. That's cool.
Yeah. Why does this matter? Well, because people in rural areas often drive over an hour to the nearest ER or specialist. Some counties have only one primary care doctor. My goodness. If approved, this funding could bring relief to families who've waited too long for medical resources. This is definitely needed.
It's definitely needed, yeah.
Now, Florida released its new Veteran Health Heroes report, highlighting veterans and military spouses working in healthcare. Florida has one of the highest veteran populations in the country.
Yep.
And many vets are entering the healthcare force.
Absolutely. Guys, this matters for two reasons. Florida faces a healthcare staffing shortage. Veterans bring discipline, experience, and leadership, and can I just say ethics? To medical roles, right? This report is a roadmap showing how we can support veterans and strengthen healthcare at the same time.
1,000%.
Yeah. Moving on, guys, after 5 years of closure due to collapsing oyster populations, Apalachicola Bay will try saying that
10 times fast. You should get a medal.
I should. I'm going to make one. Apalachicola Bay will partially reopen to wild oyster harvesting on January 1st.
This bay once produced 90% of Florida's oysters and fueled local economies for generations. Experts say the reopening is cautious. Only 500 acres are viable compared to the historical 10,000.
Yes.
But it signals that restoration efforts may be paying off.
That's right, guys. Okay, let's move on. Are we talking about pythons again? You know what? I'll be back.
Meanwhile, scientists are watching how incoming cold fronts affect the invasive Burmese python population.
I can't.
These snakes thrive in warm climates, but cold snaps can weaken or kill them.
Do you start feeling something crawling on you when you're? Sorry. I know they have a right to life here in Florida. This matters, guys, because pythons have devastated native wildlife populations in the Everglades.
Correct.
In cold weather, which we do experience from time to time here in Florida, if cold weather slows them down, even temporarily, it gives native species a fighting chance and gives wildlife officers an opening for more effective removal efforts. Amen to that.
Absolutely, and it's so needed.
Moving on to sports, guys. In college, Miami dominated Stanford 42-7. That is a whooping. Showing off a balanced...
At least they got on the board.
a balanced offense and strong discipline. This wasn't just a win. It's the kind of performance that signals postseason potential, definitely.
Oh, for sure. And USF built a huge lead, but collapsed late in the fourth, losing 34-31. Finishing games strong has been a season-long problem for the Bulls.
Interesting. FAU fell to Navy 42-32, struggling against a disciplined triple option attack, a system that punishes defenses that aren't airtight.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now, FAMU won 43-35, led by a monster performance from Jamal Haley.
Wow.
157 yards and 3 touchdowns. Woo.
Somebody say NFL coming.
Right? Now pivoting to high school football, here are the standout games of the week and why they matter to you. Venice 51, Sarasota 14. Venice's offense looks playoff ready.
Nice.
Now Vero Beach 49 to Treasure Coast 0. Oh, sorry, Treasure Coast. Defensive shutdown heading into seeding.
Wow.
And Jensen Beach 59 to Okeechobee 0. One of the largest margins of the week. And Armwood 49 to Wharton 0. Armwood's consistency is hard to ignore.
Wow.
And Park Vista 56 to John Leonard 0. Another statement win from a disciplined team.
And a lot of shutouts there. That's kind of that's hard to do.
It's interesting.
All right. Guys, speaking of high school students, one of our newly formed Club America chapters, powered by Turning Point USA, hosted a sign and flag wave in the community in celebration of Veterans Day.
That's right. As you can see here, the Northport High School chapter, led by their president, William, were well received by the community. Take a listen.
We're on the corner of Price and Sumter, right outside of Walgreens, and I've got William here. William is the president of the Club America chapter at Northport. So tell us what you're doing out here, William.
We're supporting veterans.
Supporting veterans. They've got signs that say honk if you love veterans.
Because at Northport High School, we do a speech every morning for veterans, but I feel like we can do more.
He said you're getting a good response out here.
Yeah.
You love veterans. Come out and join us, guys. Grab your American flag. These are the young people. This is why we do it, right? They're out here again on the corner of Sumter and Price. All you vets out there, are you veterans? These young kids would love to meet you. They'd love to meet you. Come on out, Price and Sumter. And thank you to the Northport High School Club America chapter. If you want to get in touch and find out more about the Club America or Turning Point, you can go to www.tpusasrq.com. We'll definitely plug you into your local chapters. All right, guys, we'll see you later.
We will have more on this story coming up in our Cam in the Moment segment with Camden Bedding House, so stay tuned, guys.
A lot is happening across the Sunshine State, and that's just the start.
Yes, up next, we turn our focus to the heart of our local communities on the Suncoast.
Stay with us. We'll be right back after this short break.
From the heart of Marietta, Georgia, comes a tribute to the spirit of liberty. Liberty Cigars, where history meets craftsmanship. Each cigar tells a story. The Founders Collection honors the visionaries who shaped a nation. The President's House Collection celebrates the leaders who steered it. And the Naval Series salutes the heroes who defended it. Handcrafted with precision, each blend mirrors the essence of its namesake. From the boldness of George Washington to the elegance of Thomas Jefferson. Indulge in a moment of reflection. Light a Liberty cigar and savor the legacy. Discover your story at libertycigars.com, because every great nation deserves a great cigar. Liberty Cigars, smoke the history. And don't forget to use promo code OPENMIC for 10% off your order.
Welcome back. Now it's time for one of our favorite parts of the show, our Suncoast Community segment.
Here with the local stories, the neighborhood wins, and the issues shaping everyday life on the Gulf Coast is our very own Raj Dorsami.
This is Raj Dorsami with another report for Coastal Conservative News. You probably have heard about the meeting that took place on Friday, just this last week. This meeting took place in Orlando. We had people from all over the state attend. The purpose of this meeting and what drove the meeting is a growing concern about the conduct of some of the leaders of the Republican Party of Florida. And with me to talk about what happened at that meeting is Kathy Chamberlain. Kathy Chamberlain is the founder of Pinellas Watchdogs. She is an author of the Rules for Rhinos, which is now available on Amazon.com. Kathy, thanks for joining us today. How are you?
Thank you, Rod, for having me.
It's my pleasure. Kathy, you were at this meeting. You helped guide the architect of this meeting. Maybe we could start with why was this gathering held, and what did you want to accomplish through this gathering?
Sure. Well, as you know, probably at the Reclaim last July, in my breakout sessions, I threw out some ideas to the America First participants that came to that as to how we can effectively make our voices more heard, because we're really being attacked, not by the left and the Democrats this time around under Trump's presidency, but rather by the rhinos within our own party. It's very, very frustrating. And so my idea was very favorably received. And from there, we started a coalition called American Patriot Executive Committee, or APEC. And we're up to about 90 members now from all over the state, including about 37% of the counties, Raj. So we are growing rapidly. So that Reclaim event really sparked so much interest and made me realize that there are more people than just in my county that are getting very concerned about our Republican Party of Florida and how they are purging so many members of our party, the very members Trump needs most. His base, as a matter of fact. So what we decided to do as a coalition was to have our first mission, and we made it our mission to be in front of the RPOF Quarterly on November 7th. Right across the street, a bunch of us gathered. There were probably 150 of us I think for our next mission, it's going to be much, much bigger because this movement is really taking off. And we hosted 11 speakers from around the state from 9 different counties. So this is not an isolated incident where one very effective person in the MAGA organization has been purged. No, they're picking us off one by one, we realize. So this was the result of many people, the coordination of Apex members, and it went off without a hitch. It was beautiful, and we were so grateful to your network with Michelle Posey showing up so that we could get a really good live stream. And she even asked if she could make a comment at the end. And when she commented at the end, I had totally forgotten she also has been basically disallowed from joining her own party. Many of our speakers that day, by the way, people can find it available on YouTube on your network, right? And many of the speakers, they all had extremely different stories to tell. I was there as a speaker because I recently had 4 complaints or grievances filed against me by the executive director of the RPOF, Bill Helmick, a gentleman that I've never met in my life. So his grievances were obviously not firsthand experiences with me. But he picked grievances. All 4 of them happened to be things that our own president has reached out to his base to ask us to do. For example, one was affiliation with Defend Florida, your organization. And of course, I've been the ambassador for your group for over 4 years now. And so they were quite unhappy, apparently, that we had what they called in my grievance number 2. People can find the grievances, by the way, on my website, rulesfordeplorablesbook.com, under the menu Rules for Rhinos. You can find it completely in its PDF form. I have nothing to hide. And also my responses are available for all to read there. But their second grievance was Defend Florida affiliation. Since when did we lose our constitutional right to assemble and to get together with others? But they basically claimed that because I had, or Defend Florida has, unsubstantiated election fraud evidence. So it's really bizarre because, as you know, when we collected all of our canvassed surveys from voters back in the day and brought it to all of our legislators and our local SOEs, Supervisor of Elections, and our local RECs, Republican Executive Committee, our Republican leaders in our counties, we were laughed at, we were made fun of, we were called conspiracy theorists. They never even looked, to my knowledge, at any of our evidence. They refused. And so how can they call it unsubstantiated? That was grievance number 2. Grievance number 1 was actually something that I said at the Reclaim campaign, which I was a speaker and had 2 breakout sessions. But in my speech, I said, and they quoted this, by the way, from a newspaper article. Somebody was there, I guess, covering the campaign. But I said, hey, we don't just have rhinos in Washington, D.C. We have them here in Florida in our own backyard, too. Now, who is going to argue that? But they did. So they must have an awfully guilty conscience. And then grievance number 3, in my case, was that I had the audacity to start up a group called Pinellas Watchdogs. It was very helpful in the Reclaim campaign, by the way, our members. And they said that I started it up because I wanted to keep a watch over our local Republican leadership in our REC. And I answered to that, you bet I did. Since when can we not challenge our leaders if we don't believe they're doing the right thing? And then grievance number 4 was a real kicker because, as many of your viewers probably remember, I was a campaign manager for an unjustly accused J6er. So those are all points that our own president has actually agreed with in the past, but apparently our Republican leadership here in Florida does not agree with our own president on these. So our coalition, APEC, is made up of many patriots, many MAGA America Firsters like me who feel aggrieved and that we're not being listened to. So we're going to keep growing. We have quite a few events coming up. We'd love to keep you posted on those. And if anybody wants to join us, please go to our email us at joinapec at protonmail.com.
Thank you, Kathy, for those comments. And in particular, in our conversations with the leadership of the Republican Party of Florida, their position is that they refer to the Republican Party of Florida as a private organization, and they maintain that it is this decision of a handful of people in Tallahassee to decide who gets to be a member of this private club. And that explanation was given to me when I asked for an explanation why hundreds of members of the Republican committees from throughout the state have been removed from the Republican Executive Committee. They also maintain that it's within their right to use police to bar entry to their meetings at their discretion. And so critics of the Republican Party of Florida are concerned that their behavior is similar to a police state, where police are now being used to determine who can enter these meetings. Critics don't feel that the Republican Party of Florida is a private club, a private organization. So it remains to be seen how all of this will play out. We know that the chairman of the Republican Party of Florida, Mr. Evan Power, a very powerful political figure, despite all of the concerns that we just heard, has now been promoted to a position of the Republican National Committee, the RNC. We know, as you reported earlier, that there are some concerns about some of the conduct regarding the tax law or voter law for the top official of the Republican Party of Florida. So it remains to be seen how all this will gel out. One thing is for sure, there is growing concern and a growing faction, unfortunately, within the Republican Party of Florida at a time when we have a president who, item number 19 of his platform, is calling for reform with the election process. He has been explicit through both him and his cabinet member, Tulsi Gabbard, about the flaws in the election process. Nonetheless, Kathy Chamberlain and others like her have been removed from the Republican Party of Florida for their affiliation with efforts to reform the election process. So a very troubling time. It remains to be seen how all this will play out. For those who are interested in learning more about your organization, Kathy, could you restate your email address for those who want to learn more about what your group is doing?
Yes, and in addition to that, and by the way, as you well know, our good friend Dave Kalin, who was the chair of his REC, got booted the same day that I did. And he is doing a lot of investigation into some improprieties on the RPOF. But we're also, as a coalition, he's part of our APEC group as well. We're trying to gather as many MAGA groups around the state to become part of APEC. You can do that by emailing us. And when you do, by the way, help us put together a list. We are now formulating a list of all of the people, Republicans in Florida, who have been purged or exiled from the Republican Party, because we want to put that in a binder and get it to our president to make sure that he understands that his base is being destroyed here in Florida, in his own home state. So make sure to contact us by emailing us at joinapec, APEC, at protonmail.com.
Thank you, Kathy, for speaking with us. I know you're on your way to another meeting where you're speaking to a large group of people. So I appreciate you fitting us in today. Hope to speak with you very soon.
And if I can add one more thing, I'm going all over the state speaking. And if anyone would like me to come to their group to speak about this very issue, because my book, obviously, Rules for Rhinos, Alinsky Tactics to Fight Republicans in Name Only, it is so fitting and so timely. And I speak about a lot of that in my book. But if anyone would like to have me come speak, they can do so by emailing me at rulesforrhinos@gmail.com.
As we conclude this, if there are any representatives from the Republican Party of Florida that would like to come on this and present their point of view, we welcome that. We have reached out to the Republican Party of Florida for their comment, but have not received a response so far. Kathy,
And Raj, just so you know, I'm being blackballed from many of these speeches, and I have Republican clubs reaching out to me that have already confirmed speeches with me, telling me that their local RECs are calling them and letting them know if they have me speak, they are at risk of losing their charters. It's time to stand up for the freedom of speech. We cannot let our own party take that away from us.
Very well said. It lines up with the United States Constitution. It lines up with the Florida Constitution, where we're broadcasting from. Kathy, hope to have you again on another show very soon.
Thanks, Raj. Bye-bye.
Thank you for that update on the press conference at the quarterly RPOF meeting. And there's more ahead tonight. After the break, we dive straight into the decisions, policies, and power moves shaping Florida's governance. Allie.
Stay with us. Political Pulse is coming up next, right after this.
Hi. Hello, how are you?
We are here to get an IV.
An IV. I heard you have an IV room?
Yeah, absolutely. You just head right back this way. To the left.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Knock, knock. Hello. Hi, I'm Michelle.
I'm Sarah.
Sarah, this
Hi,
is Allie.
Allie. Nice to see you.
How can I help you?
We're stressed. We're moms. We've got multitasking going on. I feel like I fall victim to like a brain fog a little bit. I don't know if that's my age or whatnot.
You need a little bit of clarity, a little bit of energy.
Yep.
Right? Is there of an IV that you would recommend for that? Thank you.
We call this the brainstorm.
The brainstorm.
The brainstorm.
Come visit We the People Health and Wellness Center,
where medical freedom exists. Welcome back, Free Florida, to Coastal Conservative News. Again, I'm Allie Leger.
And I'm Michelle Posey. We hope you're all doing well tonight. Thank you for joining us. Let's get right into one of my favorite parts, this week's Political Pulse. All right, Governor Ron DeSantis formally submitted a request for Florida to take over management of the Atlantic red snapper season. For years, anglers and coastal businesses have complained about unfairly short federal seasons.
This move would let Florida, not Washington, set catch limits, season length, and access rules. It's about local control and supporting family-owned charter businesses. Guys, this is so important because red snapper is so delicious.
It's okay. Wow. Really?
Yeah,
okay, I'll have to take your word for it.
The governor also issued several executive orders that didn't get much attention, including a special election for House District 51 and extensions of hurricane emergency declarations.
Now, these decisions quietly shape representation and direct millions of dollars in recovery resources. They may not make headlines, but they influence daily life for thousands. That's why you see it here on Coastal Conservative
And guys,
News.
make sure you keep it locked here on CCN. We will be making sure we bring you all of the special election outcomes as they proceed forward.
Absolutely.
The special election primary will be January 13th, and the special elections general is March 24th. This is after session.
Absolutely, guys. Attorney General James Uthmeier filed a lawsuit accusing Planned Parenthood of misleading women about the safety of chemical abortion drugs, even comparing them, Allie, to the safety of Tylenol.
Using RICO laws, normally aimed at criminal enterprises, sends a powerful signal.
Yep.
Florida expects medical organizations to be transparent and accountable.
That's right.
A sting operation called All Tricks, No Treats.
Wow.
Resulted in, who comes up with these names?
I don't know, but they're doing good.
This resulted in multiple arrests for attempted child exploitation.
Gosh, among them, guys, an 82-year-old man accused of sexual conduct with a missing boy. This investigation highlights Florida's aggressive stance on protecting minors from predators, and moms here in the Sunshine State are loving it.
We support this.
Absolutely.
100%.
The Attorney General also sent a letter to Microsoft accusing the company of discriminating against Christian nonprofits by denying them access to certain services and programs.
Wow, this story received almost no coverage, but it's a major move in the fight over big tech accountability and religious rights.
Absolutely.
And in a clash over local authority, Pensacola city leaders declined to cancel a drag show at a city venue despite a warning letter from Attorney General.
Well, and he's just shown he doesn't play, so
No,
I don't know why
definitely not.
Pensacola's
I don't know
playing.
why people want to FAFO.
Why? This battle underscores ongoing tensions between state-level parental rights enforcement and local risk management decisions. I think it's common sense you don't take your clothes off in front of children.
Exactly. I mean, aren't there laws against that?
I think so. The 11th Circuit Court of Appeals ruled Florida can enforce its law restricting land purchases by citizens of, quote, countries of concern, including China.
Fantastic. The decision could set national precedent for states wanting to regulate foreign land ownership, especially near strategic infrastructure like our military bases.
Absolutely.
Now, a second DCA ruling in Hart versus State may expand a statewide prosecutor's jurisdiction in election-related cases.
It's technical, but important as Florida continues tightening election integrity laws.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. Guys, the State Board of Education unanimously adopted the Phoenix Declaration, and many are so happy about this. It's a sweeping statement of educational principles emphasizing objective truth, parental authority, and Western values.
It marks a deliberate shift away from activist-driven models toward foundational civic engagement, which is definitely needed.
Absolutely.
Now, Florida approved new K-12 standards requiring students to learn the human toll of communism.
Yes. Supporters call it overdue civic literacy. I mean, listen, as much as we hear sometimes at school board meetings people being called Nazis because of their beliefs, maybe we should give them a firm foundation in communism so they understand really what that is. Yeah. Opponents, of course, say it's politically motivated. I don't see how educating our youth is politically motivated. Either way, it's reshaping how Florida students learn history. Now, more than 450 schools earned the Purple Star designation for supporting military families.
This strengthens Florida's position as one of the most military-friendly states in the country.
It's exciting.
Now, the governor appointed Kate Wallace, a corporate government affairs executive, to the Polk County School Board.
It's a strategic move that reinforces Tallahassee's push for aligned school boards throughout the state. All right, guys, CFO Blaise Ingoglia released audits claiming local governments across Florida have wasted $1.5 billion in spending.
Some counties say the analysis is oversimplified, but this sets the tone for major fights over taxes and spending in 2026. The Doge report shows New College and UF have some of the highest administrative staff ratios in the state.
And this raises questions about efficiency and spending and could lead to potential restructuring. Ingoglia also accused Miami-Dade of over $300 million in excessive spending. The county pushed back hard.
Expect this to escalate heading into the legislative session.
Grab your popcorn.
Absolutely, and keep it locked here on CCN because we will give you those reports.
Absolutely.
Now, Miami-Dade schools Inspector General flagged multiple cases of fraud and mismanagement across district operations. So I don't think Blaise is
the
too
only
far
one
off, right?
Absolutely. It's a reminder, guys, that accountability matters at every level, including school board, not just in Tallahassee.
Absolutely. Now, a Venice hosted the local legislative delegation meeting on Thursday in which State Representative Fiona McFarland, Danny Nix, and James Buchanan were in attendance. State Senator Joe Gruters was absent. Here is a look inside that meeting.
Hey guys, Michelle Posey here for Coastal Conservative News. We are outside the Sarasota County Commission chambers right here at the Anderson Building on Tamiami Trail in Venice. Today is the Sarasota delegation, legislative delegation. So this is when our state reps, both Senate and House, are here to hear from you, the public. So today we're going to hear largely from organizations that maybe would like funding through the state. Also, we'll hear from constituents like you and I who may have concerns about legislation that's currently being proposed for next year, whether we're supporting it or it's something that we don't like. This is the time to make your voice heard. Come on out to the Sarasota County Commission chambers right here at the Anderson Building. Let's go inside.
At Thursday's legislative delegation meeting in Venice, a standing room only crowd filled the chamber as local governments, nonprofit organizations, and residents gathered to address their elected representatives. Municipal officials urged lawmakers to carefully consider the potential impact that eliminating property taxes could have on city budgets. Northport Mayor Stokes emphasized that first responders are essential to the community's safety and cautioned legislators against creating unintended consequences, such as underfunding police and fire services in pursuit of property tax cuts. Nonprofit groups largely advocated for targeted legislation and additional funding to expand their programs. Public commenters focused on the bills they hope to see passed or blocked during the 2026 legislative session in Tallahassee. Medical freedom measures, including House Bill 339, House Bill 173, and the highly anticipated no vaccine mandates bill being filed by Florida surgeon Joseph Ladapo, drew significant support from the attendees. Now, many residents also urged lawmakers not to preempt local government's authority regarding building regulations, density, and long-range planning. Others voiced concerns about the Schools of Hope program and called for reforms in the upcoming season. After a lengthy and wide-ranging meeting, Chair McFarland adjourned the delegation. Guys, that's it for us for continuing coverage of Florida's 2026 legislative session. Stay tuned to CCN. Reporting for Coastal Conservative News, I'm Michelle Posey. As you can see there, it's important that we take the opportunity, guys, to speak to our local representatives when we have the chance. Florida's political landscape is shifting fast, and we'll keep tracking every development for you guys.
But now it's time to zoom out and look at what ordinary Floridians are seeing, feeling, and reacting to in real time.
That's right, guys. We'll be right back after this quick break, and we'll be back with Cam in the Moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Cam in the Moment on Coastal Conservative News. I'm Cam, and here are your week's biggest moments coming up. Well, I hope you're having a great day today. Welcome back to this segment here on Coastal Conservative News. I'm Camden. If you don't know me, it's a little bit different looking here today. I know it's Christmas time. I had to get it all out already. But I'm so excited for this segment because today I have the chance to interview a young American patriot who decided to stand up for his country and his community in the face of adversity and in the face of so much divisiveness right now in America. He decided to step up and stand up boldly and be the president of a Club America chapter right here in Florida. I cannot wait to talk to him. It's going to be amazing. But before we get to that, I do want to mention something Governor DeSantis had. He held a press conference last week talking about Club America chapters, which is a Turning Point hub. It goes from Turning Point, but it's the high school version of the college chapters. And Governor DeSantis decided to step out and say that he is not going to let any teacher or staff member not allow a student to start a Club America chapter. Because we've been seeing this in Florida lately. We've been seeing these instances where high school students get turned down by 2 or 3 teachers because they don't agree with them. We know how liberal the college system is, or the high school system even now. And they get denied a few times, and then they lose confidence and courage, and then they just give up on it. I heard someone personally, the other day in this county. And so it's amazing to see people still step up and see Governor DeSantis stand up for all of the students and the young generation of voices who want to show people the country, who want to show high school students that we love America, that we do stand for the flag, and we love the Constitution. And so it's amazing, and I have the honor and privilege to get to interview a Club America president today. Let's get him on the show. All right, joining me now on Cam in the Moment, we have William, the Club America president for the Northport High School chapter. William, how's it going today?
It's going great.
Awesome. Why did you start the chapter? Why did you get involved? And how has it been? What's your experience been like being the president of a Club America chapter?
Because I believe, so for the first part, I believe that all students should have a voice and should be able to freely speak their mind and make sure they learn proper information and learn how to speak for themselves. That's where debates come in. We'll also have guest speakers, and I hope people join.
Awesome. So what is it? Tell us a little bit about what the chapter actually is, because we know it's a Turning Point thing. It's the high school portion of the Turning Point chapters, right?
Yep.
Okay, so how does it work? What do you guys do? I know you just had a Veterans Day event the other day. What are the events like, and what was that like?
The event was very, very. It was pleasant. That we did get some middle fingers,
Really?
but
For
besides
supporting
that,
veterans. Wow.
yeah, it's because we had a Club America for Northport High School. Some people don't agree with what we do, but that's where sitting down and talking with them and along the lines. Today I came up with. I walked up to another student that has a whole entire group that's against ours, and they disagree with me. And I shook his hand and I said, I hope we can talk and get to know each other. And he's the only person that I think is willing to actually speak. The others are just trying to crush our club that we're making.
Wow.
And he's running for vice president in this Democrat club, democracy club, which they call it. And which I thought was cool is he shook my hand, and all his friends saw this, right? And he goes, I wish they can sit down and actually have a conversation about how can we find both sides and find an equal balance of how we can communicate with each other.
Yeah.
But when I shook his hand, they all said ew, and I immediately said this to them: Jesus loves you.
Good for you.
And I said that to the guy I was shaking my hand with, and we parted ways.
You know what, William? That's what we have to do. We have to set the standard, set the example of what we're supposed to do. Because if we think of Charlie Kirk, right, he's the one who had this vision for Club America and Turning Point. And what he did is he sat down with people all the time. He put his microphone down and talked to them. And now I was at one of your meetings the other day, and I saw you guys talk about a Prove Me Wrong event you're doing. Tell us a little bit about that.
So it is not our event. We're actually that's Bryson's. He's a club community member.
Oh, I see. So you guys have a hub that's
we have a little hub,
together?
and we kind of connect with the community, and we venture out. And me and Bryson work together.
Awesome. So you and him and a lot of the Turning Point student leaders attended the governor's mansion dinner the other night. Tell us about that. What has it meant to see DeSantis getting involved? Because the other day he had a press conference where he said if students are denied by teachers and staff to start a Turning Point, a Club America chapter, he's going to make that mandatory, that they can't just deny students because they don't agree with them. So how does it feel? How did it feel attending that event and getting the support from DeSantis, Governor DeSantis?
It's like, it was very honorable. It was a lot to take in, and I got to meet a lot of great minds. Here, sorry, my camera cut out.
It's okay.
My phone's about to die. So, I thought I got to meet a lot of great minds, people that share the same goals as me, which I thought was awesome. It was a gift.
Yeah.
And
go ahead.
With them helping us and setting up more Turning Point chapters and club chapters, I believe that this is the next step. This is the step to American revival that we were talking about for so long.
Wow, that's awesome. So tell us, William, before we go, what is your why? Why do you do this? Why do you want to be a part of Club America? We see so much divisiveness these days, and sometimes it's a little bit scared. It's scary to get involved and do something. So why did you stand up? And what can you tell other students that are thinking about it but not quite there yet?
Well, I want to tell these students they are not alone. This isn't a one-man battle. You can't fight this battle by yourself, so join us today, and we will fight for you. This is not just a fight. This is a movement, and this is going to be the American turning point.
That's amazing. And William, how can they get involved if they're local to your chapter?
If they're local to our chapter, they can reach out. If they go to Northport High School, go to the registration office and ask for Miss Ortiz. Miss Ortiz is an office, awesome lady, and she's been helping us. I wouldn't be here talking to you right now if it wasn't for her.
Wow, that's amazing. And so let me ask you one more question. Have you had any backlash starting this chapter on the high school? Has there been any staff, teachers, or students that have kind of seen and not agreed and had any backlash?
They did start a club. It's called The Current, and I think they have a website. They're against misinformation, and I can send you the photo. Maybe you could put this up there.
Yeah.
It's a whole entire thing against our club. And when I was talking to the vice president, or going to be vice president, hopefully, of the Democratic Party club. But we're non-picking sides, so I don't really know how that works. But I think I really want to talk with these people. I want to sit down and conversate with these people. I want to see why they believe in what they believe, and see if I can come to a reasonable, or hopefully change their mind about the way they see things. And that's my goal. That's my drive. I want to help people. I want to be out in the community. I want to be there for people.
That's awesome. And Charlie Kirk even said, when people stop talking, that's when bad things happen. And so we have to get back to that dialogue, conversating, even if we disagree. And it starts with chapters like yours and being the president. You stepped up. You took a leap of faith and boldness, and I appreciate what you're doing. I'm sure everyone does. So thank you so much for your bravery, and I can't wait to see where you go from here.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us today, William. Have a good day.
Have a nice day.
All right. Isn't he awesome? What a good chance to interview a young kid who's ready to stand up for his country. I hope you guys are inspired as much as I am, because I'm also a young American who loves this country. And if you're watching this and you love America and you want real news from conservatives who value the flag and all the things that make our freedom, because we know freedom isn't free. I have the freedom shirt on, the famous Charlie Kirk freedom shirt on. If you are one of those people, you need to follow Coastal Conservative News, because we do this every week and we have content all the time for Americans like you who really want to see the best of America. And if you want to follow me, you can follow me on my personal social media at Camden Trey B. So excited for what's in store for the future. And I'll see you guys next week on Cam in the Moment.
Thanks, Camden, for showing how the next generation is making a difference.
After this final break, we close out our night with something that centers all of us: faith, reflection, and perspective.
Stay with us. Faith and Focus with Kevin Gamble is right after this. They told us to sit down, shut up, and trust the narrative.
We said truth doesn't whisper, it shouts.
At Open Mic with Allie and Michelle, we're bringing you real news, bold voices, and grassroots firepower every single week.
That's right, unfiltered, unafraid, and unapologetically American.
Because this mic is always open.
Welcome back. And now, as we do each week, we hand things over to a voice that helps us end on truth and grounding.
Here's Kevin Gamble with this week's Faith and Focus.
Welcome back to Faith and Focus. Today's episode is a mind blower, literally. We're answering the question, does prayer change your brain? Spoiler alert, it does. And not just in some mystical feel-good way. Neuroscience says so. Let's trust the science, right? We'll look at brain scans, peer-reviewed studies, and real-life outcomes to show how prayer rewires your mind for peace, resilience, and joy, and why, once again, believers are statistically happier than the rest. Let's dive in. Picture this. You're in an MRI machine, which was invented by a Christian. You're praying, and your brain lights up like a Christmas tree. In 2016, a study from the Journal of Religion and Health put devout Christians in fMRI scanners while they prayed. Here's what happened. The prefrontal cortex increased in activity. The anterior cingulate cortex strengthened. The amygdala calmed down. What's the translation? Prayer literally trains your brain to think clearer, feel deeper, and fear less. But it gets better. A 2021 study at NYU Langone compared contemplative prayer. But it gets better. A 2021 study at NYU Langone compared contemplative prayer to secular meditation. Guess what? Prayer activated more brain regions linked to social connection and self-transcendence. Secular meditation is great for calm. Prayer, calm plus meaning. Dr. Andrew Newberg, a pioneer in neurotheology, says it best. When people pray with intention, their brains look like they're talking to someone they love, and the brain responds as if that someone is real. Here's what prayer does to your brain and your life. Number one, it lowers stress. A 2022 Baylor University study found that daily prayer reduced cortisol by 23% in 8 weeks, more than yoga or deep breathing alone. Number two, it boosts dopamine and serotonin. A 2023 Frontiers in Psychology study showed that gratitude-based prayer increased dopamine release by 15%. Same pathways as Prozac, but free and side effect free. Number three, strengthens the vagus nerve. Slow rhythmic prayer stimulates the vagus nerve, improving heart rate variability and cutting anxiety by 30%, per a 2024 biological psychological study. Number four, rewires negative thought loops. A 2020 JAMA psychiatry trial, patients with depression who added 10 minutes of daily prayer to therapy saw 40% greater improvement than therapy alone. Why? Prayer interrupts rumination, the brain's depression hamster wheel. Number five, builds resilience. A 2021 American Journal of Psychiatry study of 5,000 adults found that weekly worship and daily prayer predicted 50% lower burnout during the pandemic. We've seen the brain, now let's see the life outcomes. Harvard's 85-year happiness study, which has been ongoing since 1938, the number one predictor of long-term happiness, not money, not fame, strong relationships. And guess who has the strongest social bonds? Religious communities. Weekly worship attenders report 31% higher satisfaction. Gallup 2023 Global Emotions Report, top 10 happiest countries, 8 have highest religious participation. How about the U.S. breakdown? Actively religious Americans are twice as likely to say they're thriving, 62% versus 31% for the non-religious. The Pew Report of 2022, religious adults are 20% more likely to say they're very happy with their lives. Why? Because faith gives you things science says you need to be happy. How about meaning? Why am I here? Belonging? Who has my back? Hope? Where am I going? Atheism? It often leaves those questions unanswered, and the brain hates uncertainty. That's it for today's Faith in Focus. Prayer isn't just talking to the ceiling, it's rewiring your brain for joy. God bless.
Thank you, Kevin, for showing us that prayer isn't just talking to the ceiling. It's rewiring your brain for joy. That's right. That wraps up our coverage across the Sunshine State, the stories shaping our communities and our future.
And if there's a local story or underreported issue we should highlight, send it to us at coastalconservativenews.com. Your voice fuels this movement.
That's right. Stay informed, stay engaged, and stay Florida strong.
I'm Allie Leger.
And I'm Michelle Posey. Good night, and God bless the free state of Florida.